welcome back to Lay the Great TV. Welcome back to Lay the Great TV. It's always hard kicking off these videos. Anyway, today will be a little bit different than the normal House of the Dragon. As I was telling y'all in the last episode, I went out of town for the weekend and I went to a convention. It's called DreamCon, for any of you guys who've ever heard of it. I did do a review on DreamCon last year, 2023. I went again this year, so I will be doing just a review of the overall convention and telling you my personal experience. So before we get started into that, I want to give a huge thank you to everybody who's been watching the videos, who's been subscribing. We're up to 66 subscribers. That's incredible. 4 off of 70. That's huge. That's just a huge number. So I really thank all of y'all for joining and watching and wanting to subscribe. My last 2 videos, I think episode 4 and 5 that I reviewed, have been going crazy in the numbers. I think episode 2 is almost to like 400 views, and it's just really awesome. So I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been showing that series. And I will be back with that series this week. Took some time off. We will be back to do episode 5 and 6. Anyway, okay, so real quick to give y'all a background, and I did this last year too, just so we're all on the same page. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am 28. Okay, that matters, trust me. Anyway, I have been to about anywhere now from like 11 to 17 cons, 15 to 17, I don't really know. Again, being from Atlanta, I've gone to AWA, I've gone to MomoCon, and this is my 3rd DreamCon that I've been to. So I've got a couple under my belt, I'd like to say. So yeah, that's the first thing that I want to disclose before I start talking about the convention. The second thing I want to go ahead and disclose is this is in no way, shape, form, or fashion any hate to RDC or any of the other creators there. But mostly I'm talking about RDC because it's their convention. No hate at all. I've been a supporter for the longest time. I love them to pieces. I support them. I want nothing but the best for them. So this is just my personal experience, as well as I'm hoping some positive critiques for things that could possibly change or improve for the years to come. So I just want to put all of that out there before anybody think I'm hating or anything like that. That's not the case at all. This is all about trying to be positive and hoping for things to improve for the future. Now, pardon me, to go ahead and just jump into it, we're gonna get into criticisms and improvements. So one thing I think that really needs to change is the badge system. When you last year, and I'm gonna link the video to last year down below, and so y'all can go back and revisit that for reference. But I think they just, first of all, they really need to find a system that works. Now, of course, it's all about trial and error. So they're not going to do that without trying different things in here and whatever. But the badge system currently is terrible. The whole buy a premium badge is $150. And from what I've heard and what I've seen, it doesn't really guarantee you anything. That was the same problem that we had last year. Last year they did tiers. You could buy a badge for $100, a whole weekend badge for $100, and then you could upgrade it to a gold or a platinum, which got you different things. Much like I said last year, I had a gold badge last year. That didn't get me shit. This year, I learned my lesson and I just stuck with the weekend badge. Paid my $100 and moved on. I didn't bother to try to upgrade or whatever because that just didn't really matter to me. But the people who did go so far to get platinum badges or whatever the case, again, excuse me, it just feels like they didn't really gain anything from that. For example, they had events, like the big events that people will watch on YouTube, the dodgeball, the basketball that they do, the Family Feud, the RDC versus AMP, RDC versus this person, that person. All of these big events that a lot of people come to see the content creators do, that should guarantee them a spot inside in a sitting area and whatever. And honestly, one thing that I felt not only this year but last year as well is that you could find your way in. If you got lucky enough to be standing at the right place at the right time, these people weren't really checking badges like that. You know, not that I am necessarily advocating for that, but if you had like a group of friends that were platinum and you was standing there and you just quickly flashed your badge, it just didn't feel like nobody was really checking anything. And once they opened the doors, instead of doing like, okay, platinum, go in first, get settled, do whatever, okay, weekend badges, go in next, da da da, okay, day passes, go, or whatever the case, they would let everybody just kind of rush in, sit where they want, do whatever. So then what's the point of the platinum badge? Like paying $150 for a weekend badge for this sort of thing, that's a lot of money for for a badge. I'm not gonna lie, it is. And especially when it doesn't guarantee you anything. I remember they also had like platinum badge lounges. The lounges were whack. I remember walking past one of the lounges and it was just, you know, it's in a conference center. So it was just a plain conference center. It wasn't even decorated. They didn't have anything super exclusive like drinks or snacks or anything. It's like, okay, this was an area dedicated for you to go and sit and do whatever, but that was it. But the truth be told, like, you could go and sit anywhere in the hotel between the Hilton and the convention center. I mean, I don't know, like, so it just didn't feel like the badges carried any weight, you know, to spend $150 and not have anything really guaranteed to you is crazy to me. With that being said, I feel like the lines were entirely too long. Part of that reason is because last year there was 22,000. I'm pretty sure this year there was anywhere from 22,000 to 25,000 people. That's a lot of fucking people, a lot. It was packed like Friday and Saturday, because that's the days mostly people come. They'll come Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It was chaos. And for a lot of those big events, like I said, for the stuff for the content creators, those lines were crazy long. And honestly, a long line with 22,000 people, that's to be expected. I think the issue is that it just wasn't organized. It was better than last year in terms of like they tried a little bit to kind of like, they had these barriers up, but to a certain point, especially Saturday, like Friday things were a little bit more orderly, but once Saturday hit, people have already been partying. And people, you know, the most events and the biggest events take place Saturday. People are not paying no attention to that. The lines are blurring. You got two lines on two separate sides coming together. You don't know what's going where, who's doing what side of the pole people are supposed to be standing on. It was chaotic. It was a lot. And it honestly just creates traffic. I knew better than to stand in no damn line because truthfully, well, it is what it is. Everybody has their preferences, but I went to go do other stuff. But trying to navigate and walk through that when you got a whole bunch of people just everywhere in a line, and it's like, it just made everything very difficult to even just navigate the convention area. So the lines, I think, have to improve. With that being said, they just need more staff. They do have more staff than they did last year, and I do see that as an improvement, but it's just not enough. For 22,000 people minimum, there was not enough staff working the convention. That's just what it is. And not only that, but the staff really didn't, a lot of them were very confused. So I feel like one thing that they need to better improve on would be year-round communication, like check-ins. Like, we need to be able to be running this. And I think the thing that really would help, you know, not to be unfair, but I feel like it might be a good thing to start with, like, wherever you're having the convention, start recruiting help from there. So for example, the last 2 years has been in Austin. Hey, if you're in the Austin, Texas area, we want you to come out and be able to recruit, so you can always try to get here and everything like that, versus recruiting outside help to where there's no guarantee they can come. You got to fly them in and out, or they have to fly in and out. Just start with the central area. I think that would be, you know, just overall a better idea. But yeah, they need more staff terribly. They just need direction. Now this one, hell yeah, okay. The creators being late. A lot of things did not start on time. And anytime you're dealing with black people, I guess it's just bound to happen. But things really do have to improve on that front. Like, for example, again, this is, and let me be very transparent, this is all hearsay. So I did not go to this event, but I was hearing people talk about it. There was something, event with AMP. They were doing Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And it started a whole hour late. People was getting rowdy in the crowd. They was pissed. Apparently Mark had to come out, try to calm everybody down, whatever. Again, I wasn't there. This is just what I'm hearing. That's unacceptable though, because I don't know if AMP really had a lot of things on their schedule, so I don't really know if it was an excuse for them to be late. It's one thing for, like, because I don't even think AMP had a meet and greet on their schedule, so I'm not sure. The fact of the matter is, y'all got to get better at starting on time, because the thing is, like, yes, people are coming to see these big events, but let's say a little stadium area in the convention center holds like 3,000 people to watch it. All those 3,000 people are not necessarily there just to see you. Yes, they got lucky enough to see that event or whatever it is that you're doing, but like after this time block, hey, okay, if this time block, the Are You Smarter Than Fifth Grader is supposed to start at 1 to 2:30. Okay, our next event starts at 3. You're pushing these people back because, first of all, their whole day pretty much was already spent staying in line. That's the truth. If you've ever been to a convention or anything like that, you know damn well a lot of times for them lines, you got to get there an hour plus early to get like decent area inside. So they've already spent 2 hours standing in line. Then you have the event, they sitting there for an hour waiting for it to start. Then they actually sit through the programming that may run 45 to an hour. Then after that, now their whole schedule is pushed back. They done miss whatever panels that come after that. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair to them. So y'all have to be better about starting on time. Like, this is still work at the end of the day. Like, you know, y'all come in to be official talents at this convention. This is still a part of the job. So you want everybody to be able to see and just be able to keep up with the interest of time. Because not only is their time being pushed back, the next panel or the next event or whatever that comes in after you, now that has to start late. So that's definitely been something that has got to improve. I think the schedules need to be put out. Like, one thing I noticed about this year, which was very odd to me, was they were announcing guests and panels and events and schedules and after parties literally that same week that we were going. Like, they would be announcing stuff and dropping extra tickets for stuff Monday. Okay, the convention started basically Thursday, that weekend. That to me is crazy. I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's a lot of people who would like to kind of organize their time, especially because this convention is so damn big. There's so much to do. There's so much to take in. It can get kind of overwhelming. So when you just dump it all on people and you still dump it all the way up until the convention starts, there's not even really enough time to kind of organize, okay, this is what I want to do, or this is where I want to go, or this is where I want to spend my money. So I feel like there needs to be a set schedule, guest list, after parties, all that should not still be coming out after July 1st. Only information we need after that is like some surprise guest, I guess, like anybody that comes in later, or any cancellations, like, hey guys, this person actually is not coming, or this, that, and the third got changed, prices got changed, anything like that. But still announcing events going on the same week of the con is crazy. And going off of that, for example, they did the RDC live thing again. It was an after party on Saturday, and they dropped tickets for that Monday. Mind you, the tickets for the official DreamCon after party already was out. So my thing is this: people have already been buying tickets to other after parties. Then you drop this one on Monday night at like, I want to say 10 o'clock Central Time, because it was 11 o'clock Eastern Time. And people were pissed because they was like, bro, you dropping this shit on a Monday and I didn't see it. It's the middle of the night. Like, they missed out on their chance for tickets. I got tickets to the RDC Live, which I hated, but we'll talk about that later. Because I happened to be up. I was off from work and I happened to be up and scrolling, and I saw that they were doing that. But like, if I had already bought tickets to another after party, ain't no way I'm about to spend another $50 to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think having all of this squared away so people can pick and choose and have all their options open. The after parties, the special events, all of that should be out latest 2 weeks beforehand, and then you drop them all. Hey, the tickets for all of these after parties are dropping. You can pick and choose what you want to do, how you want to do it. But coming out with different after parties at different times, and then people are like, damn, I wouldn't have bought this if I knew that, because a lot of these too, you can't get no refunds. So if I spent money on a ticket, I'm locked into going. And the likelihood of you bouncing it back and forth to multiple after parties, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just don't really see it happening. So I don't know. I think that's another thing that probably would be a good improvement. But in terms of the regular official DreamCon after party, I'm gonna be honest, it should either be free or the tickets should be cheaper. Because again, the cons that I've gone to in the past didn't charge for like when I was going to AWA, they had something called the rave. You didn't pay extra money for the rave. It was, they had one Friday night, they had one Saturday night, or maybe it was just Saturday night. You would go in, and it started at like 11 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock, wait in line, and you'd go into the rave. That's it, that's all. It came with your ticket. Not to mention AWA, the most I've ever paid for AWA was like $75. Again, so you're comparing it to DreamCon. Some people paid $150. That doesn't even get you into the official DreamCon after party. You still got to pay a separate ticket to go to the DreamCon after party. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that's how it should be. For the RDC Live, where you at a nightclub or there was a lot of after parties at different venues, okay, sure, I understand. But the official DreamCon after party was at the convention or at the hotel or wherever it was at. It was there. You shouldn't have to pay for that. I'm gonna be very honest, like, because people, everybody, if you're worried about capacity, you'll just have to cut it off. It shouldn't be a thing of like, oh, well, we sold out, you can't get in. Just cut it off. Like, I'm sorry guys, we at capacity. When people have come out and they left, we'll let some more people in. But the truth is, especially in Austin, right down the street from the convention center, or the Hilton rather, you got 6th Street. People was hopping from the after party to 6th Street, coming back, going here, doing that. There's multiple things that people can be doing. So I don't think they should be too concerned about, okay, everybody's gonna flood the after party. And even if they did, again, cut it off. Once we fill the capacity, I'm sorry, you gotta find another after party to go to. So people can at least come in and out. Like, it's like, if it was me, I would pay for another after party, but I would at least check out the DreamCon after party a little bit over here, do whatever, leave, and then go to the after party that I paid for with those tickets. So that's just me. So yeah, that's, to me, those are the biggest things. I feel like once they kind of tighten that up, it will improve tremendously. Like ultimately, most of the gripes, most of the this and that was just, damn, I didn't get a chance to do this. Damn, the lines was too long. Blah, 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 blah. And I understand that. That can definitely deter you from wanting to go, or, you know, just being agitated. That's why I really encourage everybody, like, find something else to do. You know what I mean? If you're just there for the content creators, I understand, because that is a big part of it. But that would be a good opportunity to go find something else to get into, because standing in them lines and wasting damn near a whole half a day at the convention waiting for that, it's a lot, especially when they don't be starting on time and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, all right, so that is my criticisms, if you will, or what I feel like they could possibly improve on. Now, as of improvements and praise, because they did improve a lot. Like I said, with staff, I will say there was more staff than there was the year before. They tried with the lines. It didn't hold up, unfortunately, but they did actually have barriers and things of that nature, which was, again, you could see they were trying. They have water stations. I think that's something a lot of people were talking about. You know, obviously it's no secret, it's hot in Texas. It's hot in Texas, and, you know, it's hot in that convention hall with all of those people, and having to pay $5 for a bottle of water or whatever, having water stations, and there was a lot everywhere. So I think that was a huge improvement. Like, there was really not any time where I was like, I felt like I couldn't find a water station. So that's good. They did have like these little cute dream bars, if you will. They were like everywhere, which was cute. I think one thing that they could do to make money and then, you know, make it a little bit more fun is all of the flavors were the same. They were just all in different locations. But I feel like the main 3 dream bars, if you will, you have one by the big screen. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. That should be a set of flavors. In the gaming hall, they should have a completely different 3 sets of flavors. And then in the exhibition hall, they should have another 3 different set of flavors. What they did basically is they just changed the name, but they were the same 3 flavors. But the idea was really cute, and they gave you these little take-home cups. So good, because them damn drinks is $15. You know, it's a safe space at the end of the day. Like, they do have, you know, Dreamers Haven, where it's like an inclusive spot where women, anybody in the LGBT community, anybody like that can kind of go and feel safe and seen and everything. So we love the inclusion. Okay, so real quick too, I'm gonna talk about the 2 controversies that happened at DreamCon. I'm gonna try to touch on it real quick. First of all, there was this clip of this lady at one of the activities in a very weird, compromising position. Now, and of course, once that starts circling the internet, it's out of context, so people will take it out of context. But the thing that people have to understand is, at its core, DreamCon is an anime convention, and the truth is, anime is fucking weird. If y'all can't handle the stuff you've seen at DreamCon, you would never have been able to be in the trenches at some of these other conventions. It was a cabaret show, first of all, which is 18 plus. And like I said, out of context, it is crazy looking, but you have to like educate yourself on what's going on. Somebody on Twitter did make a point of, like, I think the 18 plus panels, they should have like a no recording thing or whatever the case. I think they should, only because, again, once it's taken out of context, people are gonna start trying to attack the convention, and don't like that only because y'all don't attack white conventions. So I just don't think that's a good thing at all. But whatever the clip that you see, that you probably know what I'm talking about, it was a cabaret show. It is adults only. You know what I'm saying? So please do not take stuff like that out of context. And there's stuff like that at every convention. They have Yowie After Dark. If you don't know what that is, you're too young to be over here. They have a lot of adult voice panels. There's a lot of adult content at conventions because, truth be told, statistics wise, kids are not the main people going to conventions. It's not kids and it's not really families. I'm not saying kids and families can't go, but in terms of numbers and the amount of people that are actually buying the tickets to go, it's gonna be adults. It's gonna be people 18 plus that are going to these things, and they have a lot of panels that are catered to that. That's why they say 18 plus when you look at the schedule or look at whatever. So that's my 2 cents on that. Now the other controversy was this streamer named Yusuf. I don't know the nigga name, but he purposely went to the convention and started just being an asshole. Basically, he had his camera crew or whatever. He was walking around. He seen a guy in a Sailor Moon cosplay, and basically was just making fun of him, was just bullying him. He stopped in front of one booth that had anime artwork. There were art prints, they were posters, and he was like, damn, I can't believe people are really buying this shit, da da da. Bro, first of all, you go anywhere, anime is not new. This shit has been around since the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. And it's gotten to a point that's so popular, you can get it anywhere. Not even just Hot Topic, Spencer's, whatever little store in the mall, a little Asian store in the mall or nothing like that. Walmart, Target, wherever. There's anime prints on everything. And that's one. So obviously, yes, people are buying it. 2, there's 22 plus thousand people here. Now, I'm not saying everybody is necessarily an anime fan that came to said convention, but I'm assuming people at least know what the fuck it is. And most of those people, yes, are buying it. They're spending their money. They're doing whatever it is they're doing, including the creators of said con. Some of their most popular videos are based around anime. 3, my issue is you knew what you were doing. You wanted a viral moment, a viral come up. And ultimately, it's just corny. You know who RDC is. You know what they do. You knew what the convention was. There's no way, I'm convinced there's no way you didn't know. From 2021 onward, this has been a huge, this shit has spiked in popularity. You went online, you made an account, you waited in the queue to order your ticket like the rest of us had to do. You bought your plane ticket, you got your hotel room, you knew what you was doing. And again, my biggest issue is, why do it with DreamCon? This is supposed to be a safe space for nerds all alike. That's what it is. We all have this thing in common of whatever the content is that we like. But most importantly, it's a safe space for black people. I cannot express that enough. Especially because I think homeboy is from Atlanta. Okay, well, there's plenty of conventions here. You could have went to MomoCon. You could have went to AWA. You could have went to Japan Fest. You could have did all of that at the white people conventions and did it there, but you didn't. Stop trying to like be weird and bash, stuff that people like. It's weird. And you knew it backfired and people didn't fuck with it because apparently 30 minutes later he uploaded an apology. He's young. I'm not here to bash him, but I think the issue is y'all gotta stop looking for a viral moment and a come up. It's corny. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, because ultimately everybody's discourse is this: if you didn't like it or you're not into it or you don't fuck with it, why would you go? You don't have to like anime. You don't have to like none of that stuff. That's totally fine. But why would you go out of your way to try to be funny? That's the problem. Don't do that. You went out of your way to do something like that. That's crazy. That's all I've got to say about it. Like, I want to say this. It's important to understand that this convention, it's in its infancy still. This has only been year 6. For a lot of these other conventions, the Comic Cons, the this, the that, the third, these conventions have been running for 10 plus years. So DreamCon is still very much a baby, and it's changing every year because they went to having like a very at-home, like Texas-based type of thing, to after the pandemic. Of course, everybody's at home, everybody's watching all of these videos, they're gaining new fans, they're gaining a much bigger and stronger fan base. 2021 happens, and the numbers for DreamCon take off. They went to having a convention with just 1,000 people. A couple of years later, it's now 22,000 plus. And it's a lot. And it takes time. So I think patience is key. Like I said, all of my criticisms are things that I just want to see improve. There are certain things I stopped focusing on because nothing is ever going to be perfect. And I find myself having a great time. So but again, that's just me. I'm speaking on my personal experience, but it's important to just keep that in mind. Like, don't feel too discouraged because, you know, it's still new. It's still very young. I think they just need logistics wise and like the business plan half wise. They just gotta, this is something as big as this is with all these numbers. Truth be told, now that DreamCon's over, like this is literally the Monday after it ended. I would say next month they got to get back in the booth and start playing in this shit. I think that's really what it is. So hopefully their team is on it. They have been listening to feedback. There has been crazy improvements from last year. So that gives me hope that it will only get better. But patience is key. Nothing is ever going to be perfect, especially when you're just finding your footing. And you know, one thing about RDC that I can respect, they're working. Like, they still have shit that they're doing the rest of the year. They're still making appearances. They're still putting out content. Yes, there are 7 of them, but they can only get stretched so thin, and I understand that. That's why I feel like they need to hire somebody like me to be on the team. I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, overall, my experience, I really did enjoy it. Right now, the rumor is, well, it's not a rumor. We know it's not going to be in Austin next year. As of now, I think the convention center is booked. But we'll see. The next logical place would be Houston. But of course, Houston just got done having a storm and flooding and hurricane and all that. So at this time of year, that's a dangerous place to have it. But I can understand them, of course, wanting to keep it in Texas. Naturally, that's where they're from. But I don't know where it's going to be. Some people were saying Vegas. I pray to God it is not in Vegas. T'Challa. That's our cat, everybody. T'Challa. T'Challa, will you let me pick you up? I understand. T'Challa left. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think being in Vegas would be a good idea. It's really chaotic enough just in Austin. It really should not be in Vegas. I think Vegas is like that's too huge of a playground and very expensive at that. I think that would come maybe later down the line once they really have got their bearings here in Texas. I think it's important for them to establish a regular thing in the same space, in the same type of layout and situation, versus going all the way to like the West Coast at that. So those are my thoughts on it. Like I said, overall, I had a good time. And there was a lot that happened with my trip personally that had nothing to really do with the convention. But if I had it my way, I absolutely would go again next year. I think it's a fun experience. And like I always say, and I said this last year, and this is a very pro-black channel. It's just good for black people. Like I was telling my friends and we were discussing, I mean, the truth is, after going to DreamCon, I just don't see myself going to like a PWI heavy convention anymore. I just don't, because it's hard to feel seen there. Like after years of AWA and years of other places and whatever, it's not fun to be the minority. And there's things that happen at DreamCon that just make you really feel seen. It makes it feel like a family situation. You'll be in the exhibition hall and they start playing Wobble and everybody's doing whatever cha-cha slide. We done sung Not Like Us 1,000 times. Like, there's just certain stuff that you're not gonna get anywhere else. And again, even panels that are catered to you, black characters in cartoons, TV, and anime, being able to write from a black person's perspective, or breaking out into the industry as a voice actor, as a black person. Like, all of these things are super, super important. And again, with the experience that I have going to other conventions, you just won't get that. And that's okay. They're white people. They're not speaking from your perspective. That's fine. But to have this and have this represent us and see the little kids, the little black kids and the teenagers and all of us feel comfortable enough to cosplay and be ourselves and do whatever, and nobody's questioning you. This character doesn't have an afro. This character isn't black. Well, the character's not fucking white either, you fucking dickhead. So it is what it is. It feels good to have that camaraderie. It's just, it's super important, and I don't want to see DreamCon go anywhere. I think it's important, and I think it has something for everybody. I know a lot of people were talking about, oh, it's turning into like a Twitch con or a vid con or this, that, the third. Well, the truth is, RDC is content creators. They do more than just anime content. They're friends with a lot of other Twitchers or YouTubers or whatever the case. That ultimately is their overall background. They literally do everything. So it makes sense that they bring all of those elements in. And again, a lot of those spaces are predominantly white spaces. YouTube, Twitch, all of those things host. So for them to bring in black streamers, black YouTubers, and to give them their spotlight and their opportunity, and even be able to open up some gyms and teach you about it, I think that's wonderful. So I don't want to see DreamCon go anywhere. I think it's very important. They just need to make improvements. While I'm thinking about it though, and while I'm on it, one thing too that needs to improve, they implemented this thing this year that was like a RSVP situation, but that whole thing came out I think that came out in like June, that they were like, hey guys, for these big events now you have to RSVP and da-da-da. And then they had YouTube there. It was a sponsor, and then they was giving out YouTube lounge bands to get into certain things. But I had no clue how to do that. I just think the communication on that should be improving. And I'm gonna just pair that with like the badge system. I feel like the badge system, the RSVPing, certain lounges or whatever they had, all of that needs to just tighten up and improve, because I feel like, again, for paying $100, $150, excuse me, that should open up a lot. Because my thing is, if I had a regular weekend badge and I could just RSVP, but then somebody with a platinum badge couldn't get in at all, that's nuts, and I'd be pissed. That's exactly why I don't, So anyway, everybody's experience is different. I'm sure there were people who had a blast, a ball, and I love that. I think that's absolutely wonderful. There are some people who you're always going to get, they didn't meet somebody or didn't see somebody or didn't whatever, so they absolutely hated it. Like I said, I try to be very open-minded to everybody's experience and very open-minded to like the overall situation. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. You're never going to completely get your way. But overall, conventions are fun. There's always crazy stories to tell afterwards. and I loved it. And like I said, if I have it my way, I would like to try to go again next year. So those are my thoughts. Did you go to DreamCon this year? Let me know if you didn't. I hope this was helpful in terms of you determining whether or not you're going to go next year. Please, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer them. Go follow me on my Instagram, and you can see all of my pictures and video clips and all the cool fun things I got to do at DreamCon. And all the other DreamCons I've gone to and conventions I've gone to. And yeah, like the video, share the video, and I hope that the right person sees it and we can make positive improvements for next year and the year after that and the year after that and so on and so forth. So I'm looking forward to it. That's it. Thank y'all for watching. House of Dragon videos coming back super soon this week. We're gonna finish that out strong. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next year, DreamCon. I had a blast in Austin. I hope we're able to go back to Austin, honestly. I love Austin as a city. Anyway, goodbye. Oh, guys, also, I met Earth Gang. Okay, goodbye.